In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make indie pop rock. And to do that, I remade BushaZ's Cologne, and I'm going to break down the song's elements, the sounds of those elements, the mixing, the structure and arrangement of the song, all that jazz. And hopefully by following along with my tutorial, you can make a song in the similar style to BushaZ's Cologne. Also, before the video starts, if you have any suggestions for any type of FL Studio tutorial, I take lots of suggestions. My tutorials are heavily based off of suggestions, so like any genres or anything like that, go right ahead. Set the tempo around 130 BPM. Start off with the guitar sample. Some good resources to get samples like this are Splice, which is paid for, and Looperman, which is completely free and uploaded by the community. I personally use both of those, and I love what I could get from either website. For the mixing for this guitar, I just have a EQ on here that just takes out the lows and boosts a little bit of the highs, because we're going to make a bass line and stuff later, and we don't want the lows from the sample, so that's why we just like take a good amount of them out. And then a sidechain, which is going to be on every single element that I'm going to show you in this tutorial except the drums. Doing like a 30%, like a minimal sidechain like that, is going to help the drums stand out more without turning up the volume of them later. Next, take the chords from that guitar sample and put it into a MIDI. Make sure to chop it up like I did here and give it some rhythm. I use two flex presets to accomplish the sound. I use this metal chords preset and then this other guitar preset. And then for the mixing, it's kind of a similar EQ from earlier, just getting out the lows and boosting a tiny bit of the highs, and the same sidechain from earlier as well. Next, take those chords and arpeggiate them. The way I created this is by copy and pasting the chords into this piano roll and then hitting the wrench up here and then clicking on arpeggiate. And the reason why these notes are purple instead of green are because they used to be up here and I just took them down an octave lower, kind of to give some uniqueness to this arp. And I used this guitar preset from Flex in order to accomplish the sound. And then for mixing, I just put some reverb on here, trying to make it fill up the mix a tiny bit, and the same sidechain from earlier. Next, take the bass notes from those chords and put it into some bass presets. Make sure to chop it up the same rhythm as the chords. And I use two Flex presets to accomplish the sound. I use this one, and I use this one as well. So for mixing, you kind of want this to sound really just distorted. The way to do that is by putting a Fruity Blood overdrive on there, but I didn't do anything specific to this. I just put the preset in there. You might need to like fiddle around with the settings where necessary to make it like very distorted and crunchy, but in this scenario, just putting the preset in there as is kind of worked by itself. Now for the drums, I have this kick right here, this hi-hat that I just have playing constantly, and then this snare right here as well. Try to get these sounds to be very dirty and like grungy and stuff like that, and I put these sounds in a pattern that sounds like this. And for the mixing for the drums, I just put a Fruity Blood overdrive on there, nothing done to it, just a preset thrown in there, kind of give it more of a distorted and dirty sound. And I have this ride loop as well, just to kind of keep the tempo with the drum loop and to fill up the mix with the drum loop as well, so it doesn't sound too bland. I also have some crashes in the beginning as well. So for the structure and arrangement of this track, this tutorial is really only focusing on like the chorus for something like this, but if you were to have a like verse or bridge or something like that, my best advice would be to just move all this to the side like this, and then just start off with the guitar sample and then build up with the bass and then slowly introduce the drums or whatever, and then have a break like this where you would start the chorus. And then for that chorus, I would have the vocals, the arp, the chords, the guitar sample, the bass, the drums, the crashes to introduce, but like don't use them too frequently. As you see, I only have it here, and then 2 bars passes, and then I have it here again. Otherwise, I would just put everything together as is for any chorus part of your song. So yeah, add an acapella, and you're done.